Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Cassandra. How are you?
Selling my volumes up. Yep.
You had a teacher work day today?
There we go. We did, yes.
And what was it? Was it for y'all to work in your classrooms, or what was
Yeah, it was.
what did that look like? By yourself and teams, your CE?
I was with my CE. We met with fifth grade today as well, and basically just talking about what the next couple weeks looks like leading up to Thanksgiving. And then we talked about benchmarks because we have benchmarks the rest of this week. And then we did, so we just did a whole bunch of planning and getting stuff organized and, all those little.
I would love for you to share some of that stuff with me. Was there an agenda today, or as y'all collaborated, what was the plan? How many fifth grade teachers are there?
There's 3, including my CE.
Or with you in there?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Okay. And was there, do y'all jigsaw the planning? Does somebody do math and somebody language, or?
Kinda, but not really. So I've been planning for our class when it comes to reading and math and science. The other 2 teachers, they're definitely working together more when it comes to trading out lessons with reading and math. They come to my CE a lot for math just because she was the math teacher, because last year they rotated classes.
Right.
And they can't do that this year because of COVID. So they come to her a lot with that. And then one of the other teachers, she does the social studies, and the social studies is strictly online. So they do all that remote.
I'm wondering if you do anything either remotely or together that looks like a professional learning community, a group of teachers getting together and talking about standards, talking about lessons, sharing lessons and stuff. Does that happen at Hasty?
We do. I don't know how. I mean, it's nothing that's like really documented. Every week, this week we won't have one just because of they gave us a free work day, and I don't really know. And we won't have a chance for the rest of the week, but we have a PLC every week. And so that's every Wednesday.
You take notes for me, please. What happens at the next PLC meeting, and shoot me an outline, a bulleted list of the topics.
Yeah, I mean, I can share those with you because she shares out the Google Slides presentations for the PLCs.
And when I say an agenda, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I can share those with you.
Yeah. Here in somewhere in the standards under leadership, it talks about you collaborating and planning and I just don't see that. So share stuff with me that I can then document, and I can say I saw that.
Absolutely.
So, I've got to turn off a timer in the kitchen. Hold on.
You're good.
I'm sorry, I'm back.
You're fine. I'm marking off whether kids brought in their report card sleeve back in. So
routine practice, just there's an awful lot of just routines and procedures and stuff that goes on in school. All of your kids are back this week, is that what I understand?
They are, yes. Yep, they all came back yesterday. So we only have one
teaching routines and procedures and practices all over again.
Yes, it's this year we've said it's been like we've had Probably 5 first days of school,
Uh-huh,
if
uh-huh.
not more, because it seems like once we get in a routine, everything changes again.
Well,
So,
I should be able to see that in the video then. It'll be interesting to see.
hmm.
As far as this last week's video and the report that I sent you, what questions do you have, Cassandra? What thoughts do you have about the lesson?
I thought it went pretty well. I do agree with you stated that instead of just doing a kind of like overall response for the whole class for as far as like calling on individual students.
Right.
So I do agree with that. Just to be for them to be more um, involved and engaged, I guess you would say.
Did you go back and did you listen to any of that, or do you need to do that to know what you're doing or how you're doing?
Well, I watched it when it like before I sent it to you. I watched
Uh-huh.
it back. Um,
Okay.
and
There's,
then I edited out like the portion of independent learning because it was a whole and it was just the same stuff. So I was calling kids back to my table.
uh-huh.
Of course, that day I had they never call me for technology issues, but I did have a fellow teacher call me that day because she had a student that was having a problem with a Chromebook and just had to get into it. So she did call me with that, and I handled that during that session. But it was just some of the same stuff. So calling
Okay.
students back and checking in on them and then letting them go back to their seat and work and that kind of stuff. So,
And
um,
I think honestly, some of this is what comes with a more experienced or a seasoned teacher when they
mhm,
know the content forwards and backwards, and they can be writing it on the board while they're calling on a student and
right.
thinking, okay, this is an easy question. I lob this at John, and this is a thinker. I'm going to throw this at Susan. And Susan, what's 5 divided by 4? Yeah, when you direct response opportunities directly to kids, then you know what the kid knows.
Right.
And so that's a more experienced questioning style for teachers. But I want you to think about it. I want you to work toward that. There's a
Okay.
lot of Cassandra talking and then not a whole lot of kid talking
Yeah.
during that teacher input. You had a lot of opportunities there where you could have called on kids and gotten them engaged. But anyway, then you gave them an exit ticket, and what happened?
They did fairly well with it. I think I had maybe 5 or 6 that really need some remediation. And those are the ones that they're hard to gauge, some of them, because it's not necessarily that they don't understand the material. It's more that they don't have the attention and the focus to actually get stuff done. So if you'll see, I had 2 of them back at my table with me. I think even in the video that I sent you,
Okay.
um, you have to stay on them. Like they have to sit next to you and you have to stay with them like the entire time for them to get stuff done.
Well,
So,
your C sits on the floor next to one of the boys, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, what comes next? Like, so you did this, so what's my next step? And like the entire time. And if they're not sitting next to you, they get off task really easily. So
Uh-huh.
some of them, like I said, it's not, I don't know if it's necessarily that they don't understand the materials. It's just more so that they can't keep focus. Um,
Fractions are hard, to
they
be
are,
honest, and there were a
they
whole
are.
bunch of different concepts there in terms of improper fractions and converting to mixed
Hmm.
numbers and
And
division.
we're staying with fractions for a while. So
Okay.
our next standard, that was more of a review standard for 4th grade. So our next standard is 5 NF3, and so that one's fraction as division problems.
Okay.
So we'll be sticking with fractions for a while.
And I saw you wrote in your blog that you're going to be reteaching some of that on Friday with a
That was
math
this
intensive
past
lesson.
Friday,
I was
yeah.
okay.
Because what happened is last week we had Wednesday as a remote day, and then Thursday it was a closed day for the schools, like because of the storm. So like it
Mhm.
was really closed.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, it was supposed to be remote for the kids. So what we ended up doing is we assigned them the first part, that video, and that's why that wasn't in the teacher portion of what you saw. So we assigned them that math antics video through an Ed Puzzle. I don't know if you're very familiar with Ed Puzzle, but it'll take a video and it stops it at certain points and it'll ask students questions. And so they did that on Thursday as kind of like a getting them into this is what we're going to be doing on Thursday. And they didn't do so well on it. So, because like I said, this was supposed to be a review standard. Um, so, but then, like I said, after reviewing the exit ticket from Friday, I mean, they seem to do a lot better. So I think they just needed that teacher input. But that would be why you didn't see the video on my lesson plan, is because they had already seen it the day prior.
Think about observation and don't respond now, but think about observation and think about teacher questioning, the dialogue that you're having all the time with kids as opportunities for ongoing formative assessment. You know, we're talking about fractions today. As I'm walking around, I'm looking at your paper, I'm noticing that you're reversing numbers, or I'm going to ask you again leveled questions. Johnny, you get the easy one, and Susie, you get the harder one. But you know, all during the lesson, trying to know, are they getting it? Do they know this part? Can I move on? Because yes, they do get that we're converting improper to mixed numbers. I don't know. This is the art of it again, Cassandra. I think that this is art. And again, I saw a lot of good things going on in this lesson. You were very organized. The kids were on task. They all had their notebooks out. They were all writing. I can't see the overhead. So next time you do a video, if you can give me a little better view of what you're writing, I had no idea what
Okay.
writing up there.
And I think that's really hard too, because with our document camera, it has to have light and it has to have a natural light because it doesn't have a light on it. So like I tried to turn the light off, but then it was too dark for the kids because it was an overcast day. So,
It's more important that the kids can see and that you can
yeah.
see. If I can see, then that's all. Well, then that's a good substitute for me being there. But anyway,
Yeah.
I would have gotten up and moved myself if I'd been in the classroom that day. Anyway, next week you're gonna do a science lesson for me this week.
I am, yes. So we have
Okay.
benchmarks tomorrow, the rest of the week, tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. And then after the benchmark on Friday, we're going to be doing friction and gravity labs. So, yep, I'm going to record that for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you looking at your lesson
I am.
plans?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Friction and gravity labs are at the end here.
It's at the, yeah, it should be the last one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I like to look at all the stuff you're doing.
Okay.
So if I can get a copy of that sheet, or I think I tried to click on that sheet and I need access to it.
Yeah, I think I think right before the meeting, I just did that too. I just got an email. So.
And like the labs, can I get a link to that somewhere, or is there more information I can read about?
I have them as physical copies that my CE used last year, but I can see if I can't scan them and put them in.
I would really love to look at that stuff. It helps me understand what I'm looking at in your lesson. I hope you see that I go back and I do look at your lesson plans.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Make sure you're teaching to the standard and stuff. And then I try to wrap my head around what I know about friction and gravity and see if it looks like the kids are getting it, you know?
Yeah.
Again, this is what I would do if I were the principal in your building. I hope it's helpful feedback to you.
Absolutely.
I look forward to another lesson this week, and get me attached documents and stuff as well.
Yep, I can work on that.
Write a better report. Oh, something else I want to talk about today, if you got a few more minutes.
Yeah, of course.
The PD plan. You know, in the beginning, I said, don't worry about any stuff. We'll come back to it later. This is one of the stuff that we should have done early. Or did you write a PD plan?
I actually have my PD plan from in the spring. And because we didn't get to finish out in the classroom in the spring, Dr. Wesson, was it Dr. Wesson? I think it was Dr. Wesson had told us that we could just continue that PD through the fall.
Will you shoot me a copy of what you got?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I certainly will.
Okay.
Yep.
There's that. I wanted to make sure you knew about it, and we're working on that. What else? What about the other portfolio stuff? You and I both missed that Thursday session,
Yeah.
but
So
Have you looked at this? Do you know what's in here?
yeah, I do. Yeah, I have that actually printed out, and I have several. I have that. I have a checklist. I have what all needs to be in there. I have the
Okay.
rubric of what they're grading on. So
Okay.
several of those printed out that I'm going by. I have
Some of the stuff again that would be helpful to me, Cassandra, show me that you have a copy of the school improvement plan, that you've
okay,
referenced the school
and yep,
improvement
I
plan
do.
in
Hmm.
your PD plan.
Hmm.
Okay, you got to do that. Um, Again, here's the PD where they want the PD plan. Global awareness, you got to address that in the video that you.
Yep, and that I'm wondering because we do the CNN 10 every day. So I'm wondering if I can't play in the CNN 10 as part of that global awareness because it does talk about, what's going on around the world, and how that relates to our kids and why it's important to them.
Find some connection to the standard course of study. I'm sure there are many in
Mm-hmm.
science or math or somewhere, and highlight a lesson where you're
Okay.
doing that. And
Okay.
I think you need some video, or this becomes part of the video that you present as part of your
Okay.
portfolio. So make sure you've got some global awareness in there somewhere.
Okay.
Again, that helps me check it off on your the teacher assessment instrument too.
Okay.
Uh, that's the stuff that I was thinking about this week. What's on your mind, or how's it going?
Um, for most part, it's going really well this week. Obviously today we didn't have kids, but yesterday was very tiring. I went home kind of mentally exhausted. um, just it's a lot. With the kids being like it was easy when the kids were separated because we could really focus in on like if we only had 7 kids one day, it was really easy to focus in on just those 7 kids. Having 25 in here was I don't want to say it was a shock, but it was definitely a lot yesterday, so we left a little tired, but overall we're doing really well. I'm working on my portfolio at home. I just started, I've set up my live binder. I'm trying to tuck stuff away in there, and then working on my classroom website. So that's underway. Um, I think it's just sometimes it can be overwhelming just trying to stay on top of everything.
But
Uh,
you've passed
I
EdTPA
did. So that was great. That was like a sigh of relief, like,
for
thank
sure,
you.
for sure. So
So,
yeah, I mentioned at the beginning, this is kind of like the elephant. You've already
yeah.
chewed a big chunk of it off, and just keep chewing. And we have a few more weeks where
Absolutely.
you got to do that.
Yeah.
I need to see 3 more videos.
Mhm.
It's going to be science, and then your choice, whatever you want to send me. Um,
Okay.
if you want to blend your global awareness in there somewhere, and anywhere where you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone for the portfolio for me, do it.
Okay.
And then
Awesome.
we'll try to wrap this up by the end of the month, right?
Okay. Sounds good. I do have a quick question about, and you may know, at the end, I'm supposed to do observations in, I think it says just other grade levels. Would that be other grade levels at my school, or am I getting sent somewhere else? Or,
No, no. The idea is to, it sounds like Hasty forwards and backwards, and you're an established institution there, right?
yes.
Yeah. For most folks, this is not the case. So getting out and seeing a second grade classroom, a special ed classroom, would be a way to get you out there. But
Hmm.
be smart about it. What grade do you think you'd like to teach?
I definitely see myself as more of the upper grades, so
Okay,
3rd, 5th. Uh,
okay. You might ask for
be a
permission
stretch.
to visit a 3rd or 4th grade classroom. If you think, even middle school, maybe that would be an opportunity to say, hey, I'd like to go over to another school and find a place to visit. But no,
Okay.
expanding the scope, maybe even visiting other 5th grade classrooms and
Okay.
seeing, what the lady next door is doing. Um,
Okay.
that ought to be helpful to you. But the idea is to get a broader picture.
Mhm.
And however you do that, there's no rules.
Okay. Okay. I was just curious about that. I wanted to make sure that, if it had to be approved, like, what I'm saying, like approved or
Just in house,
whatever
just
it
by,
needs to.
by your CEO.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. I can do that.
What else was I going to say? Oh, again, I've got to have 3 more videos,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm confused as to what week it is. You keep track and make sure that you've got 10 full weeks. You're going to have
Yeah.
more
I will.
before
Mm-hmm.
it's all over with. And wherever you decide to start gearing down, you just make sure you've taught 10 full weeks and then start gearing down. And then that's your opportunity to look at another classroom, perhaps.
Yes.
And the way it looks like you're collaborating with your CE, I don't know if it's going to look any different in weeks 11 or 12 or 13. So it doesn't matter. And after that, do you have a clue what what your principal wants to do and what your plan is?
Well, as of right now, we don't have any openings here, and I've been keeping an eye on if there's any openings within the district, because I don't want to leave our district. I don't want to leave our school, honestly. But I've been looking to see what's available and what's out there. So my principal is going to do some mock interview style things with me to get me ready. But I think what the plan is right now is I'm going to go back into my TA role and working with the media and technology through the end of the school year, and then apply for positions.
Well, that's a plan. That's a plan. Again, I think that you're lucky to have that,
Mhm.
or
Very, very lucky.
you're making your own good luck here with this. And I think passing the TPA and then having your portfolio, your body of work, we're going to be able to say you're ready to go wherever that may be, at Hasty or elsewhere.
Yeah.
So,
Well, thank you.
yep, another month, and keep chugging along.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Take care.
Thank you so much.
Let's do the same next week. Send me a video at the end of the week. I'll look at your lesson plans and your video. I'll get up with you when I get a report written, and maybe we can make it a regular Tuesday thing.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. All right,
Bye-bye.
bye.